I am so freaking glad that Jason finally told Carly about Joss being WSB because Carly's facial expression did not disappoint. She was funny as shit when she found out. She looked at Jason like, I know you fucking lying. She had that I know you lying look on her face. She was coming up with every excuse in the book as to how it's impossible for Jocelyn to be WSB. She was like, "Oh, she in college." I'm like, "Baby, that don't matter. It don't matter." Um, but I'm glad Jason finally, bust that bubble and told her. He needed to because that's just not how they roll. He don't lie to her. But it was also kind of funny how the shoe was on the other foot because Carly can't stand Jason ragging on Jack or not liking Jack or, whatever, saying anything against him. She can't stand it. But Carly's been doing that shit for years when it come down to Jason relationship. Other than Courtney, Carly has not liked any woman this man has been with. Always ragged on him, always said disrespectful shit. And now she can't handle it that he's doing that now. But he has a valid reason for doing it though. Because Jack can't be trusted. And it's also funny because Jason is basically throwing Britt under the bus too, because part of the deal was, or not the deal, but him being silent was Jack wouldn't arrest Britt because he could throw her in Steinmauer. Jason didn't give a damn. Jason was like, listen, I'm gonna tell this little bit of news. Carly is about to be on the warpath. Like, she is about to go ape shit at this point. Jack better watch his back. But I love how, as upset Carly was, Jason got her to take a minute and think, like, you can't blow Jocelyn's cover right now. So she got to be strategic with how she move. I definitely think she's going to put up a brave front, or she's going to put up a face and continue to play this role and act like she don't know. She probably gonna lure Jack into a false sense, make him think everything's still good, and then she gonna strike. She gonna bide her time because at this point she ain't got no choice. But I'm glad she know. I'm glad she know because it's about damn time. I was wondering what took Jason so damn long to tell her. Cause I'm like, usually he would have skipped his little ass over there and been told her. But I'm glad he did it. Better late than never. It's about damn time. So Anna is not playing no games. Like, Anna knows Jack very well. She knew that Jack only wanted to see Valentine because he needed something from him, something major. She knew that. But I'm glad Anna is on her P's and Q's when it comes to Faison, because even though she's confident he's dead, she knows that he has shit up his sleeve even in death. That he still has little minions around. He still, has things in motion even in death. Like, he still set things up. Kind of like how Helena does. Because whenever Helena disappears or she die or whatever, she was always 5 steps ahead of people. She planned shit out. Faison is doing the same exact thing. He made sure that his legacy would continue, that his project would continue in some form or fashion. And Anna's not stupid. She knows that all of this shit ain't no coincidence. Britt is back from the dead. Nathan's back from the dead. All of this with no explanation. She don't like it. And I don't blame her, because it stinks. It stinks to high hell. Something ain't clean. Something ain't right with this. Because I would be thinking the same exact thing. I don't believe in coincidences. And clearly Anna doesn't either. Now she just got to figure out, okay, what's the plan? What is Britt up to? Where the hell has Nathan been? Who he's been associating with? Because Dante, he felt like Nathan would never, join up with Faison or do anything with Faison or associating with Faison in any capacity. But that's the thing. If he's saying he doesn't remember the last 7 years, maybe his memory was wiped. Anna gonna get to the bottom of it. But the only way to do that, she gonna have to talk to Jack. Because if Jack is working on this and trying to figure out the same thing and she wants answers just like he does, they're gonna have to work together on this. Even though I'm sure she's not going to want to, she doesn't have a choice. Y'all got a common goal. because Jack is trying to get whatever information out of Valentine he can't, but Valentine wasn't all that forthcoming. Valentine was giving him little bits and pieces of information. He was like, well, I can't tell you who the person is that Faison was working with, but he was definitely working with somebody. Because Valentine was like, the person that he was working with is just as dedicated as Faison to see this project through. Because they were, Jack was thinking maybe Britt is leading the charge in some form or fashion, but Valentine looked like he was ready to laugh at that, because he was like, listen, Faison would never trust Britt to lead a damn thing. He wouldn't trust her to lead herself to the kitchen to get him a bottle of water. He wouldn't trust her with nothing big. Absolutely not. So now Jack got to figure out who this person is. Crazy part is Valentine know who this person is. That's the crazy part. I believe he know exactly who Faison's working with. But I feel like Valentine's going to hold that information in his back pocket, because it would be smart of him to keep that, because Jack is going to want that information bad, and it's going to take Jack a while to figure out who's working with Faison. But Valentine could use that shit to his advantage. Get an early release, because if you're helping the WSB/PCPD, that's good for you. Use that shit as leverage to get up out of there or get a lighter sentence, whichever they're willing to do. Because if you can hand them a bad person on a silver platter, the head figure, the figurehead, you go there. You getting up out of Steinmeier. You get up out of there faster than you could think. You going home, bro. Use that shit. Because knowing Valentine, he ain't giving up all this big information all at once. That man ain't stupid. I feel like Charlotte, she's a smart person. She's not stupid. Like, she even told Lulu, like, she know how Lulu feel about her father, but she appreciated Lulu still bringing her to see him, even though there's bad blood between them. But I feel like Dark Charlotte is about to arise. Like, she about to rise again. I could see it on her face when she saw that photo that Rocco took, and she remembered her father telling her not to trust Britt, and for Rocco not to trust Britt. Charlotte is about to go rogue. Like, she about to handle this on her own, because I could see she wanted to tell Lulu. She was contemplating on telling Lulu about what her father said, but she thought against it. She gonna handle this shit on her own, and I'm here for it, because she is Valentine's daughter. She Helena's granddaughter. She gonna handle this. She is definitely gonna do that. This Rocco storyline is pissing me off per usual, because I'm over it. Like, him having this little family dinner with Britt, and even though Britt technically wasn't originally supposed to be a part of it, but him having this little stupid family dinner is just dumb. Britt talking about, this is your Uncle Nathan. That is not that man uncle. His uncle is Nicholas, Lucky, Michael, and Morgan. Those are his uncles. Nathan is not his uncle in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Like, Lord, I wish they would stop with this storyline, because it's stupid. Sitting there having dinner with these people, trying to get to know them better as if you're related to them, and you're not. Dumb. It's, trying to talk about Faison and all this other nonsense. And I noticed that when Britt was talking about Faison and talking about how he was a bad person, and I was noticing Nathan's facial expressions. I was noticing that. I said, something is up with him. I can't put my finger on it. Like, does he have, like, Peter's essence or something ingrained in him? Like, did Faison make sure that his personality was put into Nathan? Like, that's what I'm thinking. It got to be something, because his facial expressions is throwing me. It has to be something wrong, like something going on with him, and I can't pinpoint what, and I'm trying to. But it's very telling. It's glaring. It's like, it's very noticeable, like he's up to something, but you just don't know fucking what. And I'm trying to figure that shit out. But if they work on Britt, and they gonna get the answers they want. All they gotta do is work on Britt ass, do something, because she know who that really is. Like, she definitely knows. So I would get on her about that. Rick is funny as shit. Rick is hilarious. Like, I respect what he tried to do because he could have easily took all of them down, including himself in front of Molly. But he doesn't want to hurt Molly, and it would hurt her if he just put it out there that everything that's going on with him, Ava, Alexis, and Christina. All of them would go to prison, and that would just crush Molly to lose all of them right now. So I like the fact that he chose to keep his mouth closed in that moment. That fool said, "I joined the cult." Alexis was looking at him like, "What? A cult?" Alexis was like, out of order. She said, "You know what? Fuck it. If they gonna believe it, let's go with that." Um, he came up with this little cockamamie story about him being in a cult. He thought it was some detox thing or whatever. It was really a cult, and he got drugged up, and he somehow made it out and got into the woods, and that's when Cody found him. It was a very elaborate story, but I guess Molly was believing it, so it is what it is. Ava and Christina are so naive if they think this is all over. Like, now that they got the money back in the account, they think this is done. Alexis ain't stupid. She knows how Rick is. And Alexis said, "Rick ain't this ain't over. He gonna come for revenge." And Ava felt like, nah, he gonna leave it alone. He not gonna come for revenge. Okay. Alexis tried to warn y'all, he gonna come. Cause I could see it on his face. Oh, he gonna get revenge in some form or fashion. He coming for all y'all asses. He gonna get you. So of course Liz was happy to see him or whatever. I really thought Rick was gonna tell her the real. I thought he was gonna let her know what's really going on, but he just told her about the whole Willow situation, about how Nina was really paying him and he wasn't working pro bono. I said, "That's what you got to tell her?" And Liz was just eating it up. She said, "Well, if you could be honest with me about that, you know, you went through such an ordeal or whatever, and it made you be honest." I'm like, "Liz, that man is not being honest. He only telling you a partial truth." That's all he doing. He telling you partial truths. Um, like, Rick is gonna stop at nothing to try to get back in Liz's good graces. Like, that man really want to get back with her. But I get where Felicia coming from, because Felicia was having a conversation with Liz, and I get where she coming from. Like, she's worried with Nathan being back. She's worried about what if he tried to take James away from them, and he want James to live with him. Like, they would see the boy less. Liz gave her some sound advice. She was like, "Listen, just find a way to include Nathan in the big picture, like the family aspect of things. Instead of ostracizing him or whatever, just make him feel a part of the family." You know what I'm saying? So that way, if you invite him around more with the family, then he won't ice you out if he does want to take James and want James to live with him or whatever. Because I get where Felicia is coming from. With Maxie not being around, when it comes to the kids, she's worried about parental rights, grandparents' rights. She's worried about all that. I don't blame her. She wants to keep things the way they are, but legally, the law is not on her side when it comes down to that. So I get her panic. But at the end of the day, she should know Nathan better than that he's not going to rip James from his family. But we're not dealing with the ordinary Nathan. That's the only problem. Like, we don't know who this is. Like, we know he's in Nathan's body, but who the fuck, like, who actually is this? We don't know. So I get why Felicia worried. But, she just gonna have to monitor that situation and hope like hell she can convince him to, continue to allow James to be where he is for the time being. Honestly, though, I am happy that Molly and Cody finally got that moment alone together, because it's about time she expressed her feelings for him. And she was just about to go for a kiss too until Liz interrupted. I said, "Damn, Liz, you got perfect timing." But I'm glad, this. I knew Cody finding Rick was the catalyst for moving him and Molly further in their relationship. I knew that's why they used him for that, just to further progress this relationship. Makes sense. It's about time for them to just get to it. Start dating, start admitting how they feel instead of this little High School Musical shit they be doing. Acting like two teenagers that can't express how they really feel. It's juvenile. Like, y'all are two grown ass adults. You want her, she wants you. Make it happen. Stop the nonsense. But I really enjoyed this episode, though. This was actually a cute little episode today.